Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be chatting about some of the drugstore products that I have discovered recently that I've been loving. Some of them are newer to the market and some of them are just new to me. I will be talking about them and trying them on in this video. I don't have quite a full face of items, so I'm just going to be filling in with other products, but I will have everything listed down below. But if you are excited to see me chat about some drugstore makeup, then you came to the right place. So first off, I want to start with brows. I have started doing my brows first, and I have fallen in love with brow pens. Now, I'll admit that when brow pens were first a thing, I want to say it was the Urban Decay one. That was the first one I ever saw. I wasn't really interested. It didn't really sound like anything I would like. But now that I've actually used them, I absolutely love them. And the one that I've been using in particular that I love is this NYX Lift and Snatch eyebrow pen and, brow tint pen. And I use the shade Espresso. And I like to first go in with my e.l.f. clear brow gel and use that in my brows first, let it dry, and then go in with the brow tint. Now, this definitely isn't a new drugstore favorite. This brow gel has been in my life since before I started to wear color cosmetics. So I've got the gel in there and now I'm just letting everything dry down a little bit. And while I'm waiting for them to dry, I love using the brow tint pens because they are just so easy to use. And it's easy to go overboard, but not as easy as it is with powder or pomade or anything like that. And the size strokes that you were able to make with a good brow pen, it's unmatched, truly. And I don't do too much filling here, just anywhere that my brows are kind of sparse. Ooh, looks like I can use a little tweezer action sometime soon. Another brow pen that I like is the Milani Weekend Brow. All right, brows are done. They look nice and fluffy, nice and structured, but not too structured. I just wanted to go for something a little bit more natural today. For primer, I've been loving this e.l.f. Mint Melt Primer, the Cooling Face Primer. Now, this definitely isn't new to the market, but it is new to me, and I have been loving it. I'm not 100% in love with the smell. It smells like mint chocolate. Yeah, like it's definitely not like what I would have picked, but I don't mind it and it's not too strong. Now, I will say the thing about this product is you got to make sure that you've already had on your sunscreen for a little while and let it soak in before you put this primer on, because it will mix in with your sunscreen, and even if it's not white, it'll like make it turn white. But I like this primer because it really does help your makeup stick to your skin. Well, that's a horrible way to put things. It really makes your makeup last longer, and it creates a nice barrier between your foundation and your skin for the foundation to lay on evenly. And I'm just smoothing this over the skin. Now, the other thing about this is you definitely want to wait 30 seconds before you apply any type of foundation or skin tint or anything on top of it. And for complexion, we're going to be using the Loreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Serum. And I have the shade 6-7 Tan. This is a little light for me, but the one step above was a little bit dark, so I figured I'd just try to make this one work. But it comes in a dropper, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand first. When this was first released, I wasn't actually like exactly running to the stores to grab it. I don't know, it just didn't really pique my interest too much, and I guess because I already really love the L'Oreal Fresh Wear, I don't know, I just wasn't interested. But I was in Ulta and I saw it in person and I thought, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I'm going in with this IT Causemetics brush to blend it out, but I was pretty surprised at the pricing on it, especially considering it markets itself as a skin tint instead of a traditional foundation, and it is way more expensive than all of the other foundations in L'Oreal's line. But what truly convinced me to pick it up was the packaging and just how luxe it looked. Now, I will say, ironically enough, the packaging is the most annoying thing about the product. The dropper is, in my opinion, slightly too big. So when you try to put the dropper back into the container, the foundation will run all over the sides of it. You'll waste it. It makes the container messy. It's annoying. And especially for being one of the more expensive products in L'Oreal's line, it's like, do better. But the product itself, as you can see, it has a really liquidy texture, very, very light on the skin, and it gives more coverage than I initially expected it to. You can definitely build this up to a true medium. And I'm just getting a little bit more on the back of my hand to cover up my melasma on the side. Now, of all of the skin tints I have tried, or, serum, skin tints, skin serums, whatever, whatnot, this has been one of my favorites. Now, I still haven't been able to get my hands on the Fenty one because it was out of stock for so long. And now I just don't even know. Like, I'm so irritated at how long I waited for it to come back in stock that I don't even know if I want it anymore. All right, so that's what, 2 light layers of it looks on the skin. This is with no concealer. Like I said, it is so beautiful, nice and breathable. I can't feel it on the skin at all. And even though, like I said, the shade range wasn't the greatest, I was able to find something that worked, and there are a couple shades deeper than the one that I used. So I'm hoping that most people can find a shade. I'm sure that the shade range could definitely use some work. All right, moving on to concealer. I have fallen in love with this Drugstore concealer, and that is the Wet n Wild Incognito concealer. I use the shade Medium Tan. Again, shade range is kind of abysmal, but it's okay for a drugstore brand. But this actual concealer, it is a medium coverage concealer. It can be, medium full. But what I like about it is it's so skin-like, and it's, again, really, really light. You can't feel it underneath the eyes, and it lasts such a long time. I always set it whenever I use it because I always set my concealer, but you definitely don't have to. It does set down a bit by itself, and just this shade and tone in general works really well for me. I have a hard time finding, a really nice concealer shade in drugstore concealers. I usually end up buying 2 or 3 to end up getting a shade that I really like. And while I'm letting this dry down a little bit, I want to show you these Black Radiance True Complexion HD correctors. I love these. I recently discovered these. They're about $4 each. I use this lighter one. What shade is this? This is peach. I use this one under my eyes, and then I use this darker one, which I think is like deep peach, around my mouth whenever I want to color correct. Now, I don't color correct every day, but when I want a more like full coverage, full glam look, I go for one of these underneath concealer, and it just does such a beautiful job. And I'm taking my damp AOA Studio Shop Miss A sponge to blend out my concealer here. I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Medium. This isn't new to my channel at all, not new to me at all, but it is drugstore, so I thought I'd use it in this one. Now, before I move on, there's actually 2 drugstore products that I want to mention that I'm not crazy about. Both of them are actually by Milani in their Supercharged line. One of them is the Brightening Under Eye Tint, and this is in the shade Deep Peach. And then the other is the Cheek and Lip Multi-Stick, and this one is in the shade Bronze Voltage. So, first off, about the under eye corrector, it's okay. It has a little bit of coverage to it, where it does what it needs to do. But my problem with it is I had a problem keeping it where I needed the actual coverage, keeping it where I actually needed the pigment to stay. It is so creamy that I just had a hard time keeping it where I needed it to stay. So I just found like it was just too much of a hassle to use. And I also discovered that Black Radiance one that I like better. So I figured I can let this one go. And then this, the Cheek and Lip Multi-Stick, I haven't used this on my lips because of the color. I actually got this as a contour shade, and it's just the strangest thing. It just kind of like just disappears on you. In fact, here. All right. Yeah, that maybe if you are into super sheer stuff, and I mean like super sheer, you might like that, but for me, that is not worth the blending effort that it took to blend that out, in my opinion. So yeah, that's definitely a no for me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bronze and blush up off camera since I don't have anything for this video today, but I'll be back to share the rest of the products. Alrighty, I'm back and I used my Thrive Causemetics powder bronzer in the shade Paloma, and I used the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. So for eyeshadow, I have another product from Wet n Wild, and it's the In Love with Coco Pigment palette, and I have been really enjoying this ever since I picked it up. I want to say it was like $5, and I wasn't actually on the hunt for a palette when I picked this up. I just happened to be in Walmart, and it caught my eye, and I thought, you know what? I could use some shades like this here, like the ones they have at the bottom. It is a warm neutral palette, which, I mean, you know, is always going to find a home here on my channel. Warm neutrals just look so beautiful with my skin tone, and just for me, I can wear warm neutrals throughout the year and it'll always look good. Now for today, I'm going to keep it kind of simple, but I have been able to create a lot of really beautiful looks with this palette. Alrighty, so I had to bring you in a little bit closer for lashes because this discovery is huge. It's major. Oh my gosh. This Telescopic mascara by Loreal, this was a recommendation that I got from Daisy Cash. She actually has talked about this for a while, but I only recently picked it up for my wedding, and I needed a waterproof mascara that was going to give me a lot of length. I wasn't too worried about volume because I was going to have some false lashes, but I wanted to make sure that I had some length on the bottom. Oh my gosh, this mascara, let me just show you. So first off, it has this really skinny wand, and the first time I pulled that out of the tube, I was like, what is this going to do? And then my life was changed. Yeah, this mascara has been one of my favorite discoveries of 2021, but I will say it is it's a B to get off at night. The waterproof version, girl, this is why I do not like waterproof mascaras. But when I repurchase this, I will be repurchasing the regular version. Hopefully it is as good as this one. All right, now let's go ahead and wrap things up with lips. I've got a lip combo that I discovered recently that I'm loving. First off is the NYX lip liner. This is one of the matte lip liners in the shade Downtown Beauty. Again, I wore this on my wedding. So glad I did. This is a deep brown shade. This is a replacement for my KKW, rest in peace, Nude 2 lip liner. So this is a little bit deeper and not as warm, which is totally fine for me. You can go ahead and ignore the dry patches on my lips. That's cool. Please. All right, I'm gonna blend that in a little bit. And this formula is not new to me, but this shade is new to me. The e.l.f. Seriously Satin lipstick in the shade Cider. And I used this lipstick with this lip liner to create this really beautiful, like, chocolate cherry look. If you want to see that swatched next to my horrible contour there, that is what Cider looks like swatched by itself. It is perfect for fall. Beautiful, muted red tone for the fall there. Alrighty guys, this is the final look. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the products that I shared with you today, and let me know what you think of the final look. I think everything turned out really pretty. I'm feeling myself today. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much to all of you that come back and watch my videos time and time again. I really appreciate you guys for being there for me from the beginning. So comment down below what videos you want to see from me, any looks, any brands you want me to try out, anything like that. Just give me some ideas and I will be looking for those in the comments. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and thanks again for watching. Bye.